guys. He is very, very, very special to me. Okay. I have learned everything. I have learned everything about business, about life from him. No, it's been 15 years of journey with him together, and I owe a lot of things, almost everything to him. Today I got an opportunity to talk about him for 2 minutes. Uh, you know, he is the person who has referred me in the business, and uh, if I'll talk about uh, humility, if I'll talk about hard work, I've never seen an humble person like him in my life. So all of you are lucky guys. Today he's going to address all of us. He's going to share his experience on a very important topic, which is called closing. Okay. The person, if I'll talk about his business achievement, he's super successful. He has built people from nowhere and made him reach somewhere, made them reach somewhere in life. Many people, guys, he has built army of max out in his team. And moreover, I have seen him day in, day out on ground, working with people, helping them, helping them in all aspect, whether a challenge in life or whether a challenge in business. Someone, of course, I admire a lot, I respect a lot, and a great journey with him. you know this 2 hours, guys, this 2 hours, if you can focus to the module fully, it can change your business, it can change the speed of the business, and UVs will flow. So my request to all of you to sit again and again, I'm telling you, switch off your mobile phone and sit peacefully and listen to it. Okay. The person, again, if I'll talk about, he's presently, he is residing in Dubai, building Dubai with a lot of grace, with a lot of efforts. In maximum 3 to 4 months time, he has created sapphires from that new market. I have seen him, I have seen him in his hard times in life. He will take all the challenge with a smile. He will take all the, he will put all the worries in his back. So that's the person he is, guys. And coming to his corporate, he was having around 8+ years of corporate experience. He is an engineer, electrical engineer. He is an MBA. He is a CFA level 2. He was working with Tata and Reliance and 2 3 other companies in that 8 years of span. And last avatar was in Reliance. He was handling a global portfolio in Reliance, guys. 6 months of hard work, he quit his high profile job, and after that, no looking back. Okay. So many things, many things to share. After a long time, I'm talking about him. And no, he has referred me to the business. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Now, now one thing I want to address all of you, that I want to talk to all of you, that thank you, Kavita Ma, to have this such, have to organize such beautiful session for all of us. Grooming School, we are actually learning a lot of things and implementing and organizing ourselves in this lockdown time. Okay, guys, so I hope all of you are ready, and help me welcome my mentor, my lifeline, and my referrer in the business, with a big round of applause. Give him full trespass. Help me welcome Satya Ranjan Dash. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Am I audible to all? Am I audible to all? Okay. Okay, so welcome to one more session in Grooming School. Okay. And it is a very important module. Okay. So I've been asked to talk about closing today, right? So before I get into the module, let's talk about why closing is so important. Okay. So when I heard about closing for the first time, closing was the word I heard for the first time in corporate. Okay. So when I started working for Tata, I used to work with a sales team, and the sales team used to get into closing of deals. Okay. So my understanding of closing was closing a deal. So when I started watching 8 basic building blocks, when I started understanding the business, okay, my understanding of closing was it is about closing a deal. Okay. So today I want to talk about why closing in our business, okay, is more than closing and getting somebody to sign up. Okay. Because many of you would have this thought process in your head that closing is about signing up somebody, right? Closing is about having a DR. Closing is about making some money. Now, what over the period of time I have come to understand is closing is much more than that. Because when we close somebody, yes, we get a sign up. When we close somebody, yes, we make some money. Yes, we make some direct referral commissions, some step commissions, right? But more than that, when we close somebody, we get a partner for our lives. Okay. We get a partner for our lives. We might make some money instantly that time, but we get a partner to work with us and to go in this journey together. So why closing is very important? Yes, closing is very important because we are doing this business to make money. Yes, closing is very important because unless and until we close somebody, we will not have DRs and we will not build a network. But more than that, why closing is more important and why closing is an art? Closing is an art because closing involves understanding a person. And unless and until we understand somebody properly, we don't help him to take a decision. It's very, very important for us to understand. And all of you who have read the book, Questions Are the Answers, right? You would understand the 5 golden questions and how the 5 golden questions help us to understand a person. So, closing is not about only getting a sign up, closing is not about only having a DR, but closing is about understanding that person. See, if I treat closing as getting a sign up, I learn the mechanics of closing. I might get a sign up. But if I don't understand what mindset is required for me to be in a closing mode, what mindset is required for me to help somebody to take a decision, right? Then I might get one closing by fluke. I might get 2 closings by fluke. I might have few DRs by fluke. But I'll not be a person, okay, who can help somebody to take a decision. I will not be a person who can understand how other person thinks. And that is how I will probably not become a DR machine. I will probably not become somebody who can teach the other person how to close somebody. Right? Now, there are different kinds of closing, okay? There are hot zones and there are warm zones. Now, I want to talk about hot zones first. So what happened in my first 2 to 3 days in the business when I started? Okay, I just heard about hot zones in my welcome. So Diki Bhai took my welcome and I heard about hot zones. And I spoke to my mom, I asked for money. I spoke to my wife, Swapna, I asked for money. I spoke to my few friends, I spoke to my uncle and I asked for money. I think it came naturally to me. Now, if I treated them as a warm zone, let's say I treated a very close friend of mine as a warm zone, what happens? Number one, that close friend of mine or my family member might get surprised the way I am treating him. Imagine, I spoke to my wife and I call her for a plan. How do I sound? Do I sound weird? Now, why am I talking about this today? Okay, because many people start thinking in this way that, oh, I have started business now and I have put money now. Let me go 50 steps in the business. Let me make some money myself. Let me see if this business works or not. Then I will introduce somebody. Then I'll sign up my wife. Then I'll sign up my mom. Then I'll sign up my father. Then I'll tell my best friend. Now, what is wrong in that? I cannot imagine signing up my family below 500 people. Sorry, I can't do that. Though I understand that somebody might come in my network and he might build a city or a country, I would want that person to come below my family. Why? Very simple. Okay. I always give this example. How many of you know Kokilaben Ambani? So Kokilaben Ambani is the mother of Mukesh Ambani. Now she is in the board of directors of every Reliance company. Not because she understands finance, not because she is very good at business strategy, but because she is the mother of Mukesh Ambani. So it is very natural for a business person to think that whatever hard work he is doing, the benefit of the hard work that he is doing or he is going to do over a period of 5 to 10 or 15 years time should get passed on to the people he loves, to the people he cares for. One. Two, if I sign up my family, their tracking centers also belongs to me. See, technically, business sense. So the tracking centers of my family are by default, getting credited with whatever work I am doing any which ways. So there are few of my hot zones, okay, who did not work for the initial few years time. But by the time they decided to start working, there was substantial amount of business volume which was already there. Are you getting my point? So hot zone is very important to understand. And hot zone closing is different than warm zone closing, which we'll talk about later. So you might ask me, so why can I not call somebody and explain him business, though he is my hot zone? And then he can start. Now my question to you, okay, questions are the answers. Why would you ask that question? Why would you not talk to your brother and say that, hey, listen, I started something and I want you to be there? And why would you want your brother to understand? What if your brother does not understand today? What if your brother doesn't understand, correct, the nature of the business that you do, because he has not spent time with uplines? What if your brother doesn't understand and your brother gets signed up below 500 people after 4 years time? Why would you take the chance of having your brother after 500 or 1000 people? Number two, if I cannot close my own brother, okay, now think about it. If I don't think this business is good for my brother as well, how am I going to think that this business is good for my friend, my colleague, that person who I met on the street? Does it not sound quite weird? So many people start thinking this way, okay, that first I'll talk about this business with people who I do not know really well. Then I'll talk about this business with my close friends. And then I'll talk about this business with my family. Does it not sound weird? If I think something is good for me, then it is good for my sister, my brother, my mom, my wife, my best friends, at least. So if you look into the successful people in our business, you would realize that many of them actually signed up in this business as a hot zone. Look at VP Kavita, look at VP Sarfun. Both of them are hot zones. And that is another reason why hot zones are so important, why hot zone closing is so important. Because with my hot zone, I have a declared trespass. I say jump, he jumps. I say, listen, we got to do this together. We do this together. Okay. Most of my hot zone friends were my, partners in crime during my college. So they were people who, if I say that, listen, we're going to do this together, man. Now, I don't have to build relationship with them. I don't have to explain my intent to them. Many times in my life, to the people who are my hot zones, I have just told them, I want this. Either by love or by logic or by tough love or by anything. And that is the reason many people who signed up as a hot zone, who did not understand the business before getting started, understood the mechanics of the business later on, understood how to build this business, and started growing very, very fast. You know why? Because one thing was sorted in their head from the very beginning, which we cover in the welcome: 100% faith. 100% faith in the person who referred them. It was biologically engineered into their mind from their birth, maybe, if he was a brother or sister or mom. With a friend, you have already spent 10, 15, 20 years time building that trust, and that faith is there. So when faith is there, understanding mechanics becomes simple. Are you getting my point? So all the new people out there, all the old people out there, okay, ask yourself one question today. Have I signed up every person that I care for? Have I closed every person that I care for? And if I cannot close that person I love, I care for, how am I going to go and close another person who I really don't know from last 15 years? Probably who I met in my college, I spoke to him 3 times. Probably the guy who was sitting near to me in my office. I'll share, an example which happened with me. So 2013, when I shifted to Bangalore, okay, so I had a plan for a friend of mine, my MBA friend, and this guy signed up. So this guy, when he signed up, his welcome was being taken by me. It was a group welcome, and I was taking his welcome. So after he attended welcome, okay, so he came out. So I asked him, bro, what did you learn? He said, yeah, I learned this, learned that. But Satya, can I ask you something? I said, yes. You never thought that I'm your hot zone, is it? You never thought I was your hot zone. Now that was a very difficult question for me to answer. Because this guy thought I am very close to him and he would do whatever I tell him, He would do whatever I tell him because he thinks that, he always thought that I would watch his back. And I never thought that way. So all the new people, okay, all the old people, correct? I want you to think today, okay? There are how many people who are not signed up in the business, in your business? And you care for them, but somehow you forgot that you care for them. And I'm sure that you don't want to become a millionaire and go and chill out on a Hawaii beach alone. You want your friends, you want your loved ones, you want your family to be there with you. Of course, you want your other downlines with you, but you would want your best friends also with you. You would want your family with you. Correct or not? So hot zone closing is very, very important. In fact, because I did around 6 or 7 hot zone signups in the first 1 week's time. 10 days, 1 week or 10 days time. Trust me, because I could tell my hot zone that shut up and sign up, I could tell a prospect after the plan with an intent, okay, with a fire in my eyes that, listen, let's do it together, okay? I'm going to be there for you. So signing up hot zone is not about, blocking those positions. Signing up hot zones is not only about passing benefits to them. Signing off hot zones, closing hot zones, okay, is also something which invisibly helps you gain a mindset in the business. Why? One, because when you sign up a hot zone without doing activity, it is a proof of concept that this business works. So third week, when I got my commissions for the first week, I got roughly around $3,000, 3,000 US dollars. I said, man, this business works. Proof of concept done, positions blocked. Third thing, I got people to work in the business who I really love. See, it is very exciting to take your dreams, but it is very exciting to take your dreams along with your loved ones. And you have to do it to understand it. So all of you, sit back and think today that have you closed all your hot zones? Because I don't think after 8 years time, I have closed all my hot zones. I still have a few hot zones who did not listen to me, okay, who might listen to me today, who probably did not think the way I thought. Maybe they might think the way I think today. So I still have not consumed all my hot zones. Okay, so hot zones closing is very, 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 very important. Okay, now coming to warm zone closing. How do we do a warm zone closing? We speak to somebody, we prospect him, that person comes on a table. So there is a plan which happens, okay, presentation happens where we qualify him, okay, we qualify him in terms of, mental readiness to start, financial readiness to start. We qualify him on time, money, everything, correct? And then he goes through a plan and then he starts. So this is the process of how somebody becomes an IR, how somebody becomes a partner or a distributor, correct or not? Now, in this whole process, okay, where does closing happen? So closing happens after the plan starts, right? After the plan finishes, correct or not? No. You know where closing starts? Closing starts right from the point when you wrote that person's name in your name list. Right from the point when you wrote that person's name in your name list, what were you thinking at that point in time? If while writing his name on your name list, if you are thinking that I'm going to sign up this person and we're going to change our lives together, understand there is a thought attached with it, there is an emotion attached with it, and you're releasing that emotion to the universe, and it is somehow going to manifest. I hope you watched Secret as a movie. So closing does not start when the plan comes to an end. Rather, closing starts, correct, when you write that person's name. When you call him, okay, when you call him to inform, when you share your excitement with him, that, you know what, bro, I've started something big. Till when I would have worked in job, I have started something big and I'm going to be a rich guy in a few years' time. Okay. Closing also is happening when you call him for an invitation call, when you're inviting him for a plan. Closing happens when you confirm that plan. Closing happens when he comes on table. Closing also happens when your senior partner asks him, why would you want to do business? Closing also happens when your senior partner asks him, can you manage money? Can you manage time? Can you take a decision? So closing is happening from the first point. not at the last point. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is closing, okay, is not a point in time. Closing is not an event. Closing is a series of things which keeps on happening for a very good amount of time. Okay, so why should that concern me? Now that means if I have not been, okay, the best of myself during this whole process, I would probably not get the desired result. Now let me explain this to you, okay? What do I mean by saying that if I'm not the best of myself? Imagine I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I just started something. I'm not excited. Do I pass on that excitement to somebody? No. So I'm telling him on a phone call that I've started something big, but I'm actually not passing on the vibes that I've started something big. He might think that he would have started something, correct? Imagine while doing an info call, I give the prospect unnecessary information, which is not required. I give him a lot of information which he cannot digest, which he cannot handle. And he goes and he does a Google before he comes for a plan. Correct? Right or not? Imagine while talking to this person, okay, I don't carry posture. While calling him for a plan, I don't carry my posture. Let's say I tell him, okay, whatever time you are free, I can schedule a meeting. Will he respect me? Will he respect my business? Let's say while inviting him for a plan, I say, okay, I'll come and pick you up from your house. Are you getting my point? Let's say while he came for the plan, I'm not dressed properly. Let's say I'm sitting in a Zoom plan, in a video conferencing plan, and I'm not dressed properly. Don't you think the prospect might think that, how come are you saying it's a big business, it is $1 million business or something, but he's not dressed properly? Are you getting my point? Let's say while the plan is happening, I keep talking, I look at my mobile phone. But I think these things are not going to affect closing. Closing will happen after the plan. Let's say when the plan is happening, my senior partner talks, but I am not focusing on what he talks. I am looking here and there. Will he take whatever my senior partner is saying seriously? So guys, closing is basically not something which starts after the plan. In fact, more than 60-70% closing has been done before he could come on table. When I came on table, when VC Adi Bhai took my plan, I was mentally signed up. I realized today, but before I could even see the plan, I was mentally signed up. Let me ask you something today. Think about it, okay? How many of you understood the business while you were discussing? While the plan was going on, how many of you understood the financial plan in the first time? I did not understand. But what happened with me, as a series of things, starting from the time, Stavir, my referrer, he shared his excitement with me, to the time when he called me with a lot of posture, asking me if I'm serious to do something, asking me if I can come to Bandra at 8 p.m. sharp. I was mentally closed when I waited there for some time. And I understood that this time is valuable because I'm going to meet somebody who can change my life. So by the time the plan happened, I was mentally ready to receive. I was in a seeking mode. So question is not how many prospects come on table. Question is not how many plans do you sow. Question is how many effective plans do you do. How many prospects come on table? How many prospects come for a meeting with a seeking mode? How many prospects come on table with this thought process that this meeting might change my life? So we all have read about ratios, right? 10, 7, 5, 2. Yeah, 10 people you speak to, maybe 7 people will say yes, I will come for a meeting, 5 people will come and 2 will get signed up. So today you have to check if that ratio is not working with you, then maybe the problem might not be with your closing skills. The problem might be the way you have been doing things from the beginning. Correct or not? That is when there is something else which you need to be very, 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 very careful about. Okay? Which is what is going on in your mind when you are closing? What is going on in your mind when the plan has happened? Okay? And you're speaking to this friend of yours. If this is going on in your mind, that if this guy signs up, okay, with let's say an L1, I'm going to make $700. Then don't you think your intent will be hollow? Don't you think there is a dollar sign in your eyes and people might see them? Forget about what people might see. Let me ask you a question. When you are signing up somebody, okay, are you mentally prepared to work with him shoulder to shoulder for the rest of your life? When you are closing a person, okay, please understand that people get signed up in the business and they write a dream list, okay, trusting us. So for you, is that an UV on counter? Is that just a DR? Or that is a person who has a dream and you are going to be instrumental for the rest of your life so that both of you can become successful together? What are you thinking? Because see, emotions are very powerful. If what you're thinking is that me and this person are going to work together, okay, and we're going to build a huge organization and both of us will be freaking rich, somehow he will sense it. Emotions are very, very powerful, correct? So many times what happens, okay, the prospect's subconscious mind, okay, talks to your subconscious mind. Prospect subconscious mind speaks to your subconscious mind. Let me ask you something, okay? Have you observed this, that while doing a closing, okay, while talking to somebody after the plan for a closing, most of the times, let's say you have one question which comes repeatedly from many prospects. Think about it, okay? One specific question which comes out during most of your closings. So if this is happening, okay, then it might not be the question of the prospect. If this is happening, then this is probably the question which is there in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind speaks to that person's subconscious mind. And somehow, by the words that you use, the way you speak, and the vibes that you pass on, that question you actually implant in his head. Why does this happen? You know what? My upline Adi Bhai spoke about this, okay, when he took a closing module, I think 7 years back. So he said, you cannot pass on something which you don't have. I'll repeat, you cannot pass on something which you don't have. If you don't have money, you cannot give money. If you are not happy, you cannot give somebody happiness. Correct? So if closing is about helping somebody to take a decision, if closing is about passing on the conviction to somebody to take a decision, if closing is about passing on this conviction that this business, this vehicle will change his life, if closing is about passing on this thought that this business has the capability to change his life. And if I don't have that conviction myself, what will I pass? So, which brings me to ask everybody a question, okay? All of you a question today, okay? Now, you are here in grooming school to learn closing, okay? You are here in grooming school to learn how to increase your closing ratios, how to become very effective in closing. In closing a person. But are you closed? Are you closed when it comes to this business? Are you closed when it comes to the business with your conviction, okay, that this business is what I was waiting for? That this business will take me where I want to go in life. Do you have 100% faith on the business, on the company, on the uplines, on the process that you're following? If you don't have 100% conviction or faith, okay, about the business, and there is some element of kirkir, kirkir is that humming sound. There is some element of kirkir. Yeah, everything is good, but that one small but gives a hairline crack in your mind. And if you are not closed, then while talking to somebody, you cannot be the best self. And that is why maybe your closing ratios will go down. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, am I closed? Have I crossed that minimum threshold of acceptance, belief, and knowledge? Okay, do I accept this business? Do I accept myself? Do I have knowledge about the company, the product, services? Correct? Do I have a sound basic knowledge about the industry? Do I trust the process that I'm following? Or I am just following so that I can make some money, but I don't believe in that myself? That is the case. Your conviction will be weaker, correct? And you will not be able to pass on. Then how do you learn how to close yourself? How do you learn how to close yourself? The best way how to learn to close yourself, okay, is to go back to the reason why you started. Because if I am still holding on to the reason why I started this business, then I'll be very close to be being closed. See, what is our business all about? If our business is the two most important thing, if it is about prospecting and closing, what do we do in prospecting? In prospecting, we help somebody to identify a certain need in his life. We help somebody, correct or not? And in closing, we help somebody to take a decision. Correct or not? Now, what you need to understand, if this thought process is very clear in your head, then you will not be looking for UVs, but you rather be looking for a partner to work with. Okay, a partner to hold your hands, a partner to work with. Number two, the first is, are you closed? Second, are you ready for a sign up? How many of you, okay, ask yourself, okay, how many of you, before every single plan, know the placement details? How many of you are ready with an internet connection and a laptop and a placement ID? Every plan that you walk in. You know what? More than 90% closings does not happen because somebody was not ready for it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a prospect is ready to get signed up? He is ready to take the decision. He is super excited, but you're looking for a laptop. You're calling upline. Oh, placement ID. How to check placement ID? Correct or not? So question is, are you ready for a sign up? And then many times, okay, if you have this fear, okay, that will I be able to handle him? Think how it works. Huh? If you have somehow have this doubt in your mind that will I be able to handle this person if he gets signed up? So you want a sign up, you want a partner to work with. That is why you have been doing all this. But now you also have a doubt, can I handle him? Simple question. If you have that fear in your head that I cannot handle him, will God give you one more sign up if you're not ready for it? So simple. See, initial days when I started, I also did not know what to do with somebody when he gets signed up. But once in a POA, Sachin Bhai gave a very beautiful example, okay, which is he said, many of us come from Indian families, joint families. He says, in a joint family, when a kid is born and the mother is giving the birth to the first child, she might be scared that I don't know how to take care of a child. But her mother-in-law or her mom and her grandmother are there. They have experience of taking care of many children. So yes, it could be your first DR. But please understand, there are many people, okay, who are ready to help you to do whatever is supposed to be done with him. So no need to get afraid that I don't know myself what to do. There are everything in our life which happened for us for the first time. Correct or not? Even if you have that small little fear, okay, if you look at the intent of helping this guy and working with him to build a huge organization, you will not get that fear. That fear will not be loud. Correct or not? Now coming to a few things on what are the different things, okay? What are the different processes that we eventually follow when it comes to closing? Now, first things first, okay? Now, more than 90% closing does not happen because people don't ask for it. Because somehow we think this way, okay, if he understands, he will take a decision. Okay, I called him for the business meeting, okay? He understood the business. Now it is his time to take a decision. If I ask him, then he might feel that I am pushing him. Now think about it. There are more than 18-20,000 people in this call right now. How many people would have taken a decision and started the business if somebody did not push you a little? If somebody did not follow up with you? If somebody did not ask you? So what happened with me when my plan happened? I attended the plan. I came home. I slept. Next day morning, I got up and I went to office. If Stavir, my referrer, and Adi Bhai did not come and sit with me that day, that Satya start, I would probably would not have started. What you need to understand is that we human beings, we are very weak when it comes to decision making. In our entire life, okay, probably we have not taken any decision, any major decision. Yeah, we have taken a decision of which movie to watch. We have taken a decision of which shirt to buy. But we have not taken many major decisions in our life. Okay. The decision of going to which school was not taken by us, was taken by our parents. The decision of which college to attend, to be an engineer or to be a doctor, was also probably not our decision. It was enforced by our parents. Which job to go in was necessarily not our decision. Whatever job came our way, we went in. Where to get married also, most of the cases was not our decision. The girl was probably chosen by, or the boy was probably chosen by our parents. In fact, When we go to a restaurant with few friends of ours, we take 15 minutes to order food, to decide what we want to eat. Think about it. So we are weak when it comes to decision making. So human being has a behavior to postpone decision making. So this person who has come on table for a plan, okay, this guy is a human being. Now this guy was sleeping under his blanket for years. You know, he was going to office, coming back in the evening. Okay, he thought he will buy a house, buy a car, lead a simple life. He was sleeping under his blanket for years to come. You woke him up. Now you have shown him a beautiful world. Okay, he might or might not relate to. Now this guy is standing on a wall. Okay, this side is mundane life. Is go to office, come back home. This side, you have told him that you will be able to create a system. You know, he can tick all his dreams. He can get rid of that mundane life. Now he is standing on that wall. He is standing on that wall. Okay, if you don't ask for it, if you don't ask him to take a decision, he might not have the ability to take a decision. Why? Because he is mentally engineered not to take a decision. Whenever there is any major decision making came in his life, okay, he was weak on his knees. And he said, okay, better I don't take a decision right now. I postpone the decision making for a while. Correct or not? That is when what you need to understand is that the prospect needs help to decide to take a decision. And 90% closings does not happen, okay, because somebody did not ask or somebody asked too late. That is why closing must happen maximum within the first 48 hours of the plan. 48 hours should be the deadline. See, trust me, if I did a plan, okay, if I informed somebody, I did an invite to him, I called him for a plan, my senior partner sat and he explained the business to him. After all this being done, why will I delay to call him? Now let's talk about why will I delay, okay? Why will I delay? Could be one first thing that I am scared to make that call. What questions he will ask? What if I don't have an answer to that question? Correct. What if he asks me something and I give him some answer which is not perfect? Correct or not? So that fear is so much that with that fear, I am ready to lose that sign up. I'm ready to lose that partner. So you need to ask yourself one question, okay? See, when we did something for the first time, we all had fear. But if we did not fight our fear, then we will be stuck there for the rest of our lives, correct or not? What is the easiest way to face a fear? Pick up the phone call. What question he will ask? Some questions he will ask. Either he'll ask you the question, so how do I start? What exactly do I have to do? Is this like network marketing? Or he might ask you the question, how much money have you made? So if I am somebody who has just started today, and if I understand that my first 10-15 plans will be my learning ground. So by the time I have gone through sowing 10-15 plans, don't you think every possible question or objection that a prospect might have in his mind, he would already have given me? So if you actually go back and note down how many questions a prospect might ask, trust me, the number of questions will not go beyond 20-25 maximum. Huh? So beyond this 20-25, there is no question. There is no question. Now, how do you handle that question? The first thing that you have to remember, okay, while handling a question is that you have to first of all understand, is the prospect is a genuine prospect, or he's a very skeptic one, he's asking fake questions. How do you know that? Of course all this comes with a lot of experience of doing few plans, maybe 10-20 plans. So if I was you, okay, initially I will not do my closing calls alone. Okay, I will sit with my upline who is little more experienced than me, and I will talk to the prospect along with my upline so that my upline can correct me whenever I'm making some mistakes. Okay, if I was you, after every single plan, I will go to my upline and I'll take feedback. What could I improve? What feedback are you giving me now? What could I improve the way I did this plan or this closing? See guys, all of our uplines also signed up in one plan. That plan was taken by somebody, that closing call was made by somebody. Correct or not? Our uplines are today not one person, they are thousands of people's organization. Correct or not? So this person who has come on table for a plan, nobody comes here with a written name, right? That this guy will become a V council or an AVP or a V partner or a diamond star. People get signed up into our business. And when people get signed up into our business, trust me, the person who is signing one, okay, so when I call my friend, okay, when I invited him, he might not understand why I invite him. He might abuse me and he might end my relationship with him also. I have to be okay with it because my intent is very clear. I want my friend to grow. Correct? When my friend started along with me, okay, tomorrow when he does not understand the business, he could come and say, Satya, what did you do? I'm listening to him. Correct or not? So that one plan which happened, okay, every single plan which happened, if you treat them as just a meeting, or you treat them as a plan where you are changing that person's life, as well as you are also learning, correct or not, how to become a better person for the next plan. How many of you have a notebook, okay, where you write down each and every plan which happened, serial number, prospect name, who took the plan, what happened in the plan? Are you getting my point? Because people might not understand then, which is okay. Maybe you did not do the perfect closing then because you were new. But please understand that you will also learn and improve and grow. And the prospect's time also might change. His mindset also might change. So how do you get into answering these questions? Number one, please understand that many times people do not ask the question that they actually want to ask. They form a shield, they put a filter, and then they ask you some other question which is actually not the genuine question, which is actually not the real question. So when some question comes, how would you encounter the question? Questions are the answers, okay? You don't answer a question, you ask the right question and put that person into thinking, okay, about that question. So for an example, okay, let's say the question is, no, I don't have money. Okay, so when prospect starts asking questions to you, okay, first of all, take out all the questions that he has, one after the other. Don't get into handling one question and then ask one more question. Okay. So if let's say I'm talking to my prospect, my friend plan has happened. I called him, the next day. I say, so bro, ready to get started? He said, Satya, no, but I don't have money. Okay. Okay. So is that the only thing which is stopping you to get started? Yeah, that is there, but I also think I'm quite busy in office. Okay. Anything else that is stopping you, or only these two things? Yeah, this is there, but also I still don't understand what exactly I have to do. I say, okay, so is this everything that is stopping you to take a decision? Okay. Now, if I sort out, if I help you sort out all these things, can you get started? He says, yes. Now, what I have done, okay, I did not get into answering one of his questions or objections. What I did, first of all, I walked in taking out all the questions that he might think of. So now he does not have any objection with him. Now I start handling his objection one after the other. Okay. So, money is a challenge, is it? You know what, bro? See, understand. I also had money as a challenge when I started. I worked for 8 years. I had a good salary, but I still did not have money in my account. But I understood, correct, that if after working for corporate in 8 years' time, if I still don't have money in my account, then money might not be in my account after 15 years also. And I badly wanted to come out of this situation. So what I did is I applied for a loan, because I understood that any which was going further, I have to buy a car by taking a loan, buy a house by taking a loan, maybe get married by taking a loan. So why not take one loan, okay, and work hard and create something so that I never have money problem in my life. So I also used to think like you, correct or not? He says, yeah. So check with your bank tomorrow. Today only, check with your bank today, correct? How much loan you can get. Now you also said that you're very busy in office. Now, okay, so you are what, 7, 8 years in corporate? Okay. Now, what do you think? If when you have 20 years of experience, will you be more busy or less busy? He said, no, I'll be more busy. Okay. So what are you doing about not being busy? Do you think you don't have time today for your family? Or when you are telling me today, no, Satya, I understand this is a $1 million business, but I don't have time to do $1 million business. I'm so busy in office. So you not having time today, is this a challenge or an achievement? He says, no, Satya, it's a challenge only. Are you willing to solve this challenge? Do you think it will be a big deal to put 3 to 4 hours along with your office job every day? If you don't watch TV every day, if you don't read the newspapers every day, if you don't watch that movie every week, do you think you will squeeze out some time? He says, yeah. But all this is okay, but I still don't understand, no, what I have to do. See, so now what he has done, now his first two objections are gone. He says, now, but I don't understand, no, what do I have to do? I says, listen, I'm there, no, we'll start. You already understood the macros of how this business works, correct? Any which ways, you don't learn swimming by sitting outside the swimming pool. Don't think too much, okay? Get started. Get started. Let's walk together, okay? And let's build something big. So, moral, don't address questions one after the other. It is a very good idea to ask the prospect to write down all the questions and then get into a discussion. Correct or not? Now, when objections come, okay, don't dodge objections, don't stop objections. See, many times when the prospect is asking a question, okay, to you, you say, listen, we'll work together, no? Now, don't do this walk together every time because he actually might have a genuine question. See, there are different kinds of people who come into the business discussion. There are people who come into business discussion who are analytical people. They do not take a decision without seeing the facts and figures. There are people who take a decision based on how you make them feel. Their decision making abilities are emotional. They don't look at facts and figures, the numbers. There are people, till the time their questions are not answered, they don't take a decision. If you tell a person who takes his decision based on facts and figures, he is analytical in his mind, and you are telling him, I am there, no, get started. He is feeling like hitting you. Correct or not? Similarly, if he is a person who is not too analytical and you are showing him the financial plan, okay, let me show you the financial model. He did not have that question. All he wanted you to tell him that, bro, I am there, let's get started. What are you thinking? And that is what comes with doing a lot of plans. So this is what is called understanding people. This is why closing is called the art of closing. Closing is an art. And trust me, guys, closing is the highest paid skill set in the entire world today. It is the highest paid skill set. What do the CEOs of the world do? They close deals. When they close deals, what do? They understand the person sitting in front. Correct? They help that person to resolve their queries. So don't fear objections. If you fear objections, then you will not grow as a networker, as a person. Why? Because if I don't face a question, how will I become better at it next time? Are you getting my point? If I don't face a question with the fear that I might not answer it properly, so better to avoid it. So if I don't face a question with the fear that I'm not perfect, let me first of all be perfect. How will I become perfect? By reading books. Yes, reading books helps. But everything in our business, okay, we learn by doing it. We become perfect in doing info calls by doing info calls. We become perfect in invite calls by doing invitation calls. We become perfect in showing plans by showing plans, and in closing by closing. So there is no other way other than getting head on for a closing. I have seen people who get scared of that question for years to come because they never faced it. What is the worst that will happen? He will ask you a question, you will take the guidance of your upline and answer it. Maybe you will not give a perfect answer. I also did not give any perfect answer in my first 30-40 plans. I still had DRs. Sometimes I gave stupid answers, but that person got signed up. Maybe because I was aggressive, maybe because there was an intent in my eyes. I actually felt for him. I actually meant so that we would work together. So it did not matter how stupid my answer was. And eventually, when I had DRs after DRs after DRs, I started learning. So 3 things, okay? Number 1, keep on doing plans. Number 2, after every single plan, discuss with your upline and take a feedback. Number three, go back and read books. So after doing 20 plans, when you go back and read the same book, questions are the answers again, your realization would be different. You would say, oh, okay, I should have done that. Maybe after 20 more plans, you go back and read the same book again, and your learning will still be different. Correct or not? And as I said, there are only 20 to 25 questions that can come in closing. That's it. That's it. Correct? How much plans do you think, okay, does it take for me to be super confident about talking to somebody and asking, handling any question? How many plans? 50 plans? Why not finish these 50 plans in 1 month and bloody get it done? Why wait for 6 months? Why wait for 1 year? Are you trying to tell me that I am here to become a millionaire, but I don't want to master being a millionaire? I don't want to master the skill set. I cannot show 50 plans in the first 1 or 2 months' time if I have to master closing. Trust me, that is the only one way. Doing more number of plans and learning with each and every single plan is the only one way to learn how to give the best answer to the prospect and to improve. Now, there are two different kind of objections or questions which comes. Okay, first could be a technical question. Second could be an ideological question. What is a technical question? A technical question could be something like, so what is happening with the money? See, plan happened. We told him in the plan that yes, the money is going to be used in purchasing a product, but he still did not understand. It's a technical question. Now, if you dodge this technical question, if you don't answer it, okay, so let's say you came for the plan, you putting in 5-10 lakh rupees, a few $1,000s, and you of course had this question because it is hard-earned money. And if the question you are asking is, where is this money going? And the guy sitting in front is not answering, is not giving you an answer which satisfies your curiosity, which helps you to take a decision. Will your decision making be a little weaker? Yes, right? So similarly, rather than getting afraid of that question, learn how to handle that question and next time be more prepared. What else could be a technical question? So what product am I going to purchase? Don't dodge that. Don't dodge that question by saying that, no, I'll tell you what product we purchase. Learn what answer to be given. Discuss with your upline. Correct? One more technical question could be, it's a technical question. So how much money have you want? Trust me, this guy has not done this business before. Okay? We have been asking our friends, how much is your salary? So for him, asking you this question that how much money have you earned is a technical question. How would you answer it? Don't jump into saying that I have made this much money. Do not lie. One more very, very important thing during closing, that never lie. Never lie or misrepresent anything. Don't try to show off. Okay, so imagine I'm just 2 months in the business and I show off to the prospect that, hey, I made 20 lakh rupees in 2 months' time. Let's say he got signed up. And after getting signed up, in a few weeks' time, when he started growing in the business, he understood that I have not made 20 lakh rupees in the 2 months' time. And he understood that I actually lied to him. Will he ever trust me? Correct or not? Am I not better off telling the truth? I'll come back to how to tell the truth. Okay. Am I not better off telling the truth? Correct or not? Rather than lying? Now, how to tell the truth when the question comes as how much money you made? I always answer this. Okay, you can check with your working upline. Okay, I always answer it in this way. You say, see, understand. If I tell you how much money I have made, how will it help you? Does it mean that you can make the same kind of money? No, if you put more hard work, if you learn faster, you could make more money than me. Correct or not? Don't worry, I am there. Let's get started. Let's work together properly. Okay, trust me, we would make it big together. Don't worry. You saw the financial plan, right? You saw the lazy man's guide, correct or not? Don't you think we can work at least like a lazy man? Don't you think you and me could work together as a 99.75% failure? Are we worse than that? Let's do it, man. So these are technical questions, okay? So if you sit down and jot all the technical questions and maybe sit with your upline once and get the best answer to the technical question, how much time does it take? Maybe 5-6 plans that you do. Maybe you sit with your upline for 1 hour, write down all the questions, get them answered, done. What is an ideological question? An ideological question could be, you know, what if everybody gets signed up in the business? Ideological question could be, am I making money from people? Ideological question could be, could be about time management. Correct? And you also, if let's say you write down all the ideological questions also and get to understand what is the best answer to all the ideological questions, don't you think you will be better occupied after 10 plans and after maybe 2 to 3 weeks time to handle a closing? And please understand that you cannot be dependent on your upline to handle your closing for 2 years time. If you do that, then you are not growing, correct or not? Uplines will teach you something once or twice. You might not have the luxury of that upline being there on ground with you for 6 months also, correct or not? So whenever you've got opportunity to learn everything from that person, maybe in 2 to 3 years time, go ahead. Okay, go ahead and grab the opportunity and learn everything that is possible. We work in a business which is about duplication. If I delay something for 6 months, then I'm very, there is a very huge cost of delay. Are you getting my point? Correct. Now, what you need to understand now, that many common objections which might come, correct? And every time, all the objections that comes, either you give an answer to it, or there are questions which cannot be logically answered. So let's say somebody asks you this question, but what will I exactly do? Now, if this question is asking even after the financial plan has been done, how will you answer it? Are you going to tell him that, okay, when you start, now we will get into, we'll do your welcome, then you prepare a name list, then we call them. Will you take him through all these things? Will he understand if you tell him? So normally when a question like this comes, I answer it this way. Maybe you can check with your working upline. Okay. I say, listen, the day I went to my engineering school, if I asked my professor to explain me what I am supposed to read in 8th semester, will he be able to explain me? If he tries to explain me, will I understand? So listen, there are many questions. And for every question, there is an answer. Correct? But what you need to understand, the answer of every question will come to you at the right point in time. The answer of every question will come to you at the right point in time. You cannot teach algebra to a 1-year-old kid, no? Don't worry, I'm there. Okay, we will learn it together. Okay, let's start. Now, there are few more things that you should keep in mind. Correct? There are many people who during the course of the meeting might have this question that, I am not a very social person. I don't any which ways talk to people too much. Okay. So this is not my cup of tea. Now, this is where you need to talk to him. Okay. You need to talk to him. You need to really talk to him so that this can be handled, because this is a feeling. This is about his own ideology, that he is not somebody who can talk to people. And that is why, even though he understands it is $1 million business, okay, even though he understands he can get everything by doing this business, but he will not start only because of the feeling that he is a shy person. In fact, okay, this question came to me, okay, I think in my second or third plan. Now, luckily by that time I had watched 8 basic building block, okay, and I had watched Phil Felt Found, and I am a very shy person by nature. I said, listen, bro. I can understand how you're feeling because I am a shy person by nature. But let me ask you something. Me being shy, is it a very good character that I don't like to talk to other people? Is it a very good character? He said, no, it might not be. Okay. Okay. Talking to people, is it a bad thing? No. No, it's not a bad thing. Okay. So then, me not talking to people, can it be changed? If I have to do a business, okay, where I have to talk to people. By the way, you tell me one business where I don't have to talk to people. Correct? So if I have to do a business where I can learn how to talk to people, and talking to people is a good thing. So I'm also a shy person, but I understood that being shy is not necessarily a good thing. And if I say no to $1 million business which can change my life, which can give me everything that I want in my life, and I just shut myself because in my mind I don't want to talk to people, I don't like to talk to people, do you think it is a good thing? This is what I understood. I decided that I'm going to fight a battle of me being shy, and I learn how to talk. And this friend of mine immediately got signed up. So this was only, only 4 or 5 plans had happened by that time. I don't think I had attended a closing module also, but I spoke my heart out. I was a shy person. I spoke my heart out. So I'll tell you what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Answer all the questions, handle every objection from your heart. How many of you had a money challenge to get started in the business? I had. So when the prospect is telling you that he does not have money, are you answering him mechanically or are you answering him from your heart? See, I feel the pain. I ask money from my mom. I ask money from Sopna. I ask money from my friend. I applied for a loan to get signed up. I know the pain when somebody does not have money. If I know the pain and I know the answer to it, how come I cannot talk to that prospect heart to heart? And chances are very high when I speak to him heart to heart, he will understand. Are you getting my point? Now, what you need to understand, okay, many people get stuck with products. Okay, many people get stuck with products. No, I'll check the products and then get back to you. Now, many of us are also analytical people. We say, okay, let him choose the products. Now, guys, please understand. It takes 1 second to get infected. That is one more reason why closing should happen. Okay, and you should be in consistent touch with that person, because there are so many Rai Bahadurs around us. Okay, there are so many critics around us. Who are the critics? You must have seen people who have to comment how Virat Kohli should bat. They have not picked up a cricket bat in their life, but they have to comment how Virat Kohli has to bat. So if this prospect has gone after the plan and he has the social urge to talk to people, he has the social urge to call his friend and talk to him. And if your grip, your communication, your follow up is not strong with him, then there is a very chance that he will go out and talk to somebody. He will go out and talk to some Rai Bahadur. That Rai Bahadur might tell something and which will spoil his own chances. So even in the excuse of him selecting product, don't give him time. For whatever excuse, don't give him time. 48 hours maximum. See, he might take more time to arrange money, which is understandable. Let's say somebody says, no, I need 1 week time to take a decision. Okay. So normally I will answer him like this. I will handle him like this. Check with your upline. Okay. I will tell him that, listen, bro, honestly, what will you think for 1 week? Okay. Will you think that you have to do $1 million business or not? Is that the question? No. Okay. What will you do? He says, no, I'll discuss with my, my brother, my friend. Okay. Okay. If I can ask you, what is your friend doing? Oh, he's working for Infosys. Okay. What is your brother doing? Brother works for Reliance. Okay. Now, honestly, hands on your heart. Do you think your brother and your friend will understand the business model of Ola or Uber or Amazon? Will they give you a suggestion on what you need to do? Do they know how $1 million looks like? See, I know you love your brother and your friend with due respect, but will they be able to give you a guidance? Think about it. So asking the right question every time, okay, you are putting him into a thought process, into a process where he's thinking now. So one more very important aspect of closing, okay, is what was taught to us in questions are the answers. When you say something, it becomes your words. But when the prospect says something, it becomes his words. His words are more valuable to him than anyone else's words. So don't get into telling something to somebody. Don't get into imposing your words on him. Rather, if you can learn how to ask the right question for every question which is coming up, you will actually end up, giving him a valuable suggestion which would have changed his life. Okay. One more thing, have patience when you are in closing. Don't be in a hurry. Okay. If you have it in mind that, okay, see, I'm going to talk to him for 15 minutes. Okay. If he does not understand, then I'll close this file. Many people have this word, I don't know where, I closed his file. What is closing file? What is closing file? Diggy Bhai took, a few plans in 2012. These people got signed up after 5 years with me. It's okay, right? It is okay, right? I want to have 50 DRs and 100 DRs. If my friend is willing to get signed up with me after 5 years or 7 years, why? So be patient. Because maybe when you spoke to that prospect in your initial 1 or 2 months time, maybe you were not matured. Maybe you did not say something properly. Maybe he was not mentally ready. Maybe he was promoted in his job last month. He was in a different high. Maybe his priorities in life that time was different. So be patient. And even if that person does not sign up, never argue with a prospect. Never argue with a prospect. Many times, what happens is We get things into our own ego. How can he tell me like this? How can he question my business? Hello, listen, it is okay. You have an understanding, he has an understanding. Don't expect him and his understanding to match your understanding. Correct or not? If his understanding was to match your understanding, then he would be there where you are. He's not. Many times people feel this way, because I have the business, I'm in a 5 crore business, I can hurt people. No, you cannot hurt people. God has not given us any right to hurt anybody because we become a millionaire or anything else. And then, please understand, people do not understand the business to get started. People understand people to get started. You know why I decided to start? Stavir was a very good friend. Okay. And then I met Adi Bhai. And in that meeting of 2 hours, I understood that I can do anything with this person. That feeling is very important, you know. If that feeling could be successfully passed on, then we are done. So if people will start with you because they like you. If they don't like you, does not matter how rich you are, does not matter how qualified you are, how technically good you are, how convincing you are, they will not start with you. You know why? Because they know if they start, they will work with you. If they don't like you, they will not start. There are very few people who would take a decision to work with somebody who they don't like. Correct or not? So never hurt people, never get into ego tussle, ego fight, and be patient. Correct. Now, at the end of the day, guys, understand, you know, whatever understanding you give it to people, whatever understanding. How many of you signed up after a thorough understanding of the business? Thorough understanding. How many of you understood tracking centers, max out cap, cycle points, everything before getting started? I did not understand anything. Yeah, a few things I understood, 99.75% probability, marathon relay, few things I understood. Was that sufficient to take a decision? No, I'll tell you what was sufficient to take a decision. Okay. What was sufficient for me to take a decision, okay, was the hand which came up. So pass on that trust, give that personal touch. Okay. Now imagine there is a water stream which is flowing. And your friend is standing on the other side of the water stream, and you are standing on this side of the water stream. And you have to guide your friend how to cross the water stream. Now there are broken glass pieces, there are thorns, there are a lot of other things lying there, mud and all that. Now you have to guide your friend, correct, to cross the water stream. How will you guide him? Okay, put up your feet. Okay, no, 5 degrees left. No, now 10 degrees right. Okay, a little further. Now by the time he has fallen down, how would you help your friend to cross? How will you help your friend to take a decision? Simple. You extend your hand and you say, okay, hold my hand. Okay, okay, come, you pull him. So objection handling, okay, giving answers to all his queries is okay. Never forget to put yourself in between. Many people get afraid to put themselves in between. And that is when you need to ask this question. Why do you want this sign up? Do you want these sign-ups to make some money, or do you want this sign up so that you could build an empire, build a huge organization with this person? And extending your hand to somebody, okay, extending your hand to somebody only comes from a very closed point in your heart. If you are closed in the business, if you very clearly know why you got started, if you know why you respect this business, only then you can extend your hand to somebody. because you cannot fake it. You cannot tell somebody, I am there, we'll do this business in a fake way. It has to come out of your heart. Correct or not? Now, many times, giving personal examples to help somebody to understand and to take a decision helps. So very early, we were taught about using something which is called 3 questions. Okay. So let me share how I use those 3 questions and how it helps me. Again, check with your working upline before implementing. So, when the prospect is a little, here and there with the decision making, he is there, 90% is there, and maybe 10% is not there. I say, okay. So, bro, when I was in your position, I had 3 questions to ask myself. Question number 1, do I need this kind of money? My answer was yes, because I am working hard for 12, 13 hours every day in corporate. If with that 12, 13 hours, $1 million can come, why not? And I need this kind of money. My answer was yes. Question number 2, is there any other job or any other business which I can start with this kind of money and make this kind of money? My answer was no. Question number 3, what do I have to lose? I understood nothing. Worst case, I am actually buying a product. So if I do hard work, the more hard work I do, the more money I make. Worst case scenario, I have the product to myself. Are you getting my point? And these things, Phil Feld found, these 3 golden questions, correct or not? They are so powerful. They're so powerful. If you learn how to utilize them properly, trust me, the closing ratio would go drastically up. Many people, correct or not, get stuck in this question, in this ideological question. And when I'm talking about people, I don't mean prospects. I'm saying you. Many of you don't follow through properly because you have this thing in your mind that if I ask somebody again and again, he might feel that I'm behind him. Understand? Do you remember how many times mom in childhood? Better drink this glass of milk. Do you understand? Did she ever feel that no, if I tell again and again? Do you care for that person? When should you stop asking? When should you stop asking? When somebody says, listen, please stop bothering me. Then you could draw a line. But before that, why would you stop asking? Asking somebody to take a decision can be in a better way, If you attended VP Padma's module the other day, that is exactly what she was saying, right? That person who came to her, she was avoiding that person. But that person came there and said, I was passing by this place and I thought I'll come and check. Let's start. This is also a very nice way of following up. Correct or not? But if I carry this thought process that if I follow up, he might feel bad. What will he think of me? And because of that, I don't follow up. And that guy does not sign up. Do you want to lose a DR because you did not follow up? Correct? And then be in touch with people who don't get signed up. In your diary, you should have a KIV list and you should add people. KIV means keep in view. Keep in view. Be in touch. Don't carry any grudge. This person did not sign up with me. I'll not speak to him. Hello. Be in touch. Okay. Now let's say, after doing everything, okay, after showing a great plan, after doing very good in terms of closing, after handling all his objections and following up, let's say he did not sign up. Okay. How many of you get scared of closing? Okay. Because rejections happen. Correct. Why you get scared? Because you think he rejected you. Now let's understand, logically, how he rejected you. You have a business, you're looking for a partner or a distributor. You called him, you told him that I don't promise anything. You called him, you discussed business with him, he understood business, and after understanding business, he said no to the business opportunity. Means he said, no, I will not take up this opportunity. Where did he say no to you? He did not. Repeating again, he understood the business opportunity and he said, I don't want to take this opportunity. How is it a rejection for you? How is it a rejection? So, when you go out of your house in the morning, let's say, and there is an auto rickshaw comes, there is a taxi comes, and you show your hand to that taxi and you say, okay, I have to go there. And the taxi says, no, no, I will not go there. Is he rejecting you? What will you simply do? You will let that taxi go and you will wait for one more taxi. So why when it comes to people in the business, correct? Why when it comes to people in the business, when people say no to them doing the business, why do you take this as a hit? You know what? A great percentage of people don't sustain in this business, okay? Because they did not digest rejection properly. Because they probably have never been rejected in their life. Okay, a core value of a businessman is to get rejected and be okay with it. Can you imagine how many people? Okay, let me share this with you. Okay, so a few years back, uh, I went to a shopping mall in Bangalore to buy a Rolex. So while me and Swapna, we were buying two Rolexes from the shop. So I had a look at the shop and there were roughly around 60, 70 Rolex watches were kept. So I understood, okay, so 60, 70 means around 5 crore rupees of inventory. So I calculated this guy would have put in around 20, 30 crore rupees of money to start. So there is a manager who was talking to me over phone also, and there also I spoke to him. I said, if you don't mind asking, okay, how many watches do you sell in a day? He started laughing. He said, are you joking or what? Per day. He said, see, if things are good, we sell maybe 2 or 3 watches in a month. Maybe during Deepavali or sometimes during Ramjan, we might sell, maybe 7, 8 watches in a month. So while I was standing there in that shop for around 2 hours, okay, roughly around 20, 30 people came. See, 20, 30 people coming to a Rolex shop is a big deal because a lot of people get scared to come there. But within 2 hours, let's say 30 people came. What were they doing? They came, they saw the watch. They said, can you show that? Can you show this? Can you show this? Can you show this? Now this guy was putting up a smile in his face and he was very nicely talking to everyone. Now tell me one thing. If this guy, owner of this Rolex showroom, if he thinks that every person who did not buy a Rolex from him rejected him, don't you think he will die out of frustration and heart attack in one day? Because if he sits in that showroom, for 10 hours, in 10 hours, he would have 100, 500, 600 people who rejected him and only 2 people bought in 1 month. So 500 multiplied by 30, 1.5 lakh people who came and only 2 people bought a Rolex. He would die out of heartbreak, frustration. Why he does not? Because in his mind, this is okay. This is the nature of how every business works. Some will, some won't. So what? Somewhere someone is there. Now imagine if I tell you right now, okay, that there is a big room, 500 square feet room. And in that 500 square feet room, there are chairs kept, there is garbage kept, there is beddings kept, there are a lot of things kept. I tell you that in this 500 square feet room, there is a diamond which is hidden. Now, if you understood diamond star, better for you. So I tell you that in this room, there are 500 diamonds, one diamond, Kohinoor diamond, which is written. What will you do? Will you get frustrated looking at the size of the room? Such a big room, I have to look for so many places. What? Okay, now then you start searching. Correct? When you start searching, let's say you don't find the diamond in the first 10 minutes. Will you get frustrated or will you become happy? Will you be frustrated because you did not find the diamond yet? Or will you be happy that now you have less place to search for? See, this is the mindset which is required. This is the mindset which our uplines have been teaching us. Rejection is a good thing because at the end of the day, we need 50 people to sign up with us, 50, 100 people. If we know thousands of people, if we are okay with some will, some won't, so what? Then there is a diamond star. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 diamond stars which are there somewhere. If I have to keep on showing plan, if I have to be happy and excited, I will reach them. Are you getting my point? And if some of you have this thought process that I'm not perfect yet, then ask your mom today, okay? Call your mom and ask her that when she made her first chapati, was it round? No, it was not. It was looking like an India map. Today she can look at here and there and make chapatis, right? Where does this come from? This comes from experience. And that is why uplines kept on saying 20 DRs, because by the time we crossed 20 DRs, we hit 20 DRs, we would have gone through every objection, every question, every possible kind of prospect that we can handle. That is why they kept on telling, don't stop after you finish your 20 DRs. Because once you achieve that mindset, if you stop doing it, then you become rustic again. Correct or not? So that's closing, guys. Now, before I leave you guys to go and to implement what you learned, one last thing, okay? There are 3 reasons why people don't start. There are 3 reasons why people don't sign up. Reason number 1, does this business work? Reason number 2, will it work for me? Reason number 3, will this guy stand with me? Now it is in our hands to handle everything. Question number 1, does this business work? Now, if I have tried my best in terms of explaining how the business works, and if I have also passed on this trust that don't worry, we will be there together, then the first question is answered. Question number 2, will it work for me? If I tell him that it has worked for it is working for me, and I don't think there is something that you and me cannot together do it, and I pass on the trust, then I've actually taken care of the second question. 3, will this guy be there for me? Now, if I am not a person, okay, who can look into somebody's eyes and ensure him that I'm going to stand with you, if I cannot tell this verbally to somebody that I'll be there with you, we'll work together, man, then I don't probably deserve a TR. Okay, guys. So that's closing. Okay, so let's go out, implement all that. I hope I have been able to add some value. Okay. So all the best. Let's implement everything that we learned. God bless you. Okay. Thank you so much.